Please be seated. Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to my chapel speech. You may remember me from such events as Spirit Day, my legendary voice cracks during Capture the Flag and orientation this year, or from my victory in the Cutest Baby in Streetsville contest, 1996. My name is Zach Williams, and I'm the Colley House Prefect for the 2012-2013 school year. I'm certain that you all know by now that the theme of the chapel this month is gratitude. We have heard a great deal of readings, speeches, sermons, and hymns that detail what it is to be grateful. I am a grateful person. I have my health, my family, and probably a couple of friends too. But today, I don't want to talk about those things. What I want to do is take you on a journey through time with my words, weaving you a tapestry of a different type of gratitude. Life is a journey that must be traveled, no matter how bad the roads or accommodations. As Appleby students, we often travel on a road that has been well maintained. There seem to be few potholes, cracks, or blemishes. We live a life of privilege, full of opportunities, and people who only wish to help us succeed. But I don't want to talk about how grateful I am for the smooth road. What I'd like to speak about are the potholes that we come upon, how we deal with them, and how they are the foundation of our formative years. I would like to start the analytical portion of this speech off with an anecdote that I feel many students at this school can relate to. I started out at Appleby as an undersized Upper 1 student. I came into the school knowing some people and feeling nervous and yet excited to start off my high school experience. On my very first day, I was assigned to Colley House, and not knowing any better, I was a little disappointed, since all of my friends from my old school had been assigned to Poles House. Nevertheless, being a naturally positive person, I bounced back quickly, and I followed the directions I was given to the basement of Colley House. I walked in, unsure of myself, and waited while everyone was assigned lockers. They're going down the list in alphabetical order, my least favorite thing in the entire world considering my name. Just as an aside, you think that occasionally they would do reverse alphabetical order, or go by the second letter of your first name, anything to appease the ZWs of this world. But I digress. As they approached the end of the list, I realized that the amount of locks on the table did not match the amount of people left standing there. I was proven right when Mr. Miscue told us that there were not enough lockers for everyone, and that a shipment would be arriving in a week or so. The truth is, that shipment did not arrive for 8 whole weeks. And during those 8 weeks, I carried my bags around with me everywhere I went, lugging them to sport, classes, and begging my friends to house me during lunch. Here I am, 4 years later, Colley House Prefect, and I didn't even have a place in the house for 8 whole weeks. I felt lost at the school. I didn't have the same lunch as my old friends. I didn't fit into any one friend group, and I didn't really feel like I belonged. I didn't know what to do. I had never faced this sort of thing before. But everything started to click when swimming started at the end of that first term. I had swum competitively for 6 or so years and was fairly competent. At the end of the first week of practices, I was named captain of the swim team along with 2 grade 12 students. And really, it has only been up from there. I'm grateful to have had to start my Appleby career off with some adversity, because I feel that it has forced me to move outside my original comfort zone and to grow as a person. Childhood is short. Maturity is forever. Calvin, from Calvin and Hobbes. That thinking was really the basis for my childhood. It sometimes seemed as if my life goal was to fit as many silly mistakes into my first 17 years as possible. Then I could just kind of coast through the whole maturity thing. My parents call these mistakes my stupid human tricks, and there have been some good ones. To name off a few of the highlights, I stuck a 4-block of Lego all the way into my ear, and then complained of an earache. My caring mother rushed me to the doctor, where it was finally discovered that I had a piece of Lego occupying my ear canal. Thinking that this might get me into trouble, I instinctively told the doctor and my mother that the piece had fallen in there. A genius plan at the time. I then screamed bloody murder as the piece was extricated, forever embarrassing my mother and not really endearing myself to the doctor either. From this point onward, my mother has instructed me to never put anything smaller than my elbow in my ear. Words that I live by to this day. The list of mistakes goes on and on. Swallowing a penny while watching Alf, putting a glue stick in a heater to see what happens, that sort of thing. And always with the excuse that the object fell. Well, everyone, I'm here to finally relieve myself of a terrible burden. The glue stick did not fall through the cover into the heater. The penny did not just appear in my mouth, and the block of Lego did not fall sideways into my ear. I put those objects there. And from those mistakes, I have learned some very valuable lessons. Not everything bad that happens is a mistake. As a kid, I really liked doing things. Anything really, as long as I was doing something. I wasn't the most athletic, or the tallest, or anything like that. But I still really liked to try. I tried out for every single team possible from grade 3 all the way through to grade 8. And I only made the teams that no one was cut from. Every time they put up the list of people who were on the team, I would rush to the board, full of excitement. And I would search for my name, usually at the bottom because of my last name. There it is again. I would scan, looking for any sign of my name. Not seeing it, I would look again, just to make sure I didn't miss it. Then, I would walk slowly away from the board, feeling empty, disappointed, and like I never wanted to try again. Another Calvin and Hobbes quote explains my feelings on those days simply and eloquently. You know, Hobbes, some days even my lucky rocket ship underpants don't help. I would go home, tell my parents about the team and how I didn't make it again. I would complain about the disappointment, the unfairness of it all. And then my parents would interject. They would tell me that I would be a very lonely boy if all I wanted to do was have a pity party. They said that they understood how disappointed I was, but that by trying my best and by continuing to try my best, I would only get better. Sometimes you just need someone to help you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep trying until you are knocked down again. Those experiences were hard. Hearing that you aren't quite good enough for something is never an easy thing. But I am grateful to have had the opportunity to try and fail, and to know the true euphoria of succeeding on your own merit, even after past efforts have failed. As I said before, not everything bad that happens is a mistake. There are potholes in the journey of life, after all. However, sometimes you just wish that they were a mistake. On April 10th, 2006, my family reached one of those potholes. It seemed to be a day like any other, but on that day, I was called down to the office with my little brother, Josh. He's here today. My entire class started calling out, "Ooh, Zach's in trouble," just like they always did when someone was called down to the office. But this time, it really wasn't that simple. As I trudged down to the office, I wondered, what could I have possibly done wrong to get called down to the office? And what excuse I would use to get out of this situation? But when I got there, my parents and brother were already waiting for me. We were told to sit down, that there was something important that we had to know. They then proceeded to tell us that Josh had been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and that he had to go to the hospital so that they could do some tests and make sure he was okay. With that, Josh began to cry. Not because of the diagnosis. We didn't know what that meant. But because he was terrified of the hospital, and he was worried about what would happen there. That was 6 years ago, and in that time, a lot has changed. Diabetes isn't something that goes away. It stays with you your entire life and affects everything that you do. You have to take a needle of insulin with everything that you eat. You have to prick your finger to check your blood sugar. And if your blood sugar is too high, then you may not be able to eat something. It would be so easy for Josh to just give up and feel down on himself. But that's not who he is. Josh is one of the strongest and bravest people that I know, and I'm grateful to be able to call myself his brother. Diabetes has changed our lives for the better, too. We have forged connections with a community that is united in their goal to find a cure for this disease and is dedicated to supporting the families that are affected by diabetes. I'm eternally grateful for the support that has been offered to my family and to have had the opportunity to make a difference for something that my family is passionate about. As students, we've all suffered through many situations of adversity and failure, and I feel that we all must reflect on these moments if we are going to grow as a community. Now, I understand that all this talk about gratitude can seem heavy and overstated, so I'd like to close with some positive things that I am grateful for. Think of it as pre-gratitude gratitude, if you will, because I'm going to say it before I actually get to do them. So, I'm grateful for the ability to swim with a dolphin. I'm grateful for the ability to write a message in the bottle. I'm grateful for having a cause that my family is passionate about and willing to do something about. I'm grateful to be able to find a job that I love. I'm grateful to be able to accept myself for who I am. And I am grateful for the ability to get over my fear of failure. Thank you all, and would you please rise and sing hymn 565, God me, O that great Jehovah.